Workplace nowadays, we have 4 groups of generation. The oldest, my group. So my group yang sekarang ni, yang mungkin jawatan pengarah, mungkin jawatan manager, my group. So kami ni, our level of education different from other groups. Saya masih ingat saya masuk ke universiti, 86 saya TOEFL, 87 saya universiti. Saya masih ingat lagi floppy disk. Floppy disk sekarang pakai thumb drive. Floppy disk tu besar begini, 4 segi. Dan semasa saya masuk universiti tahun 87 tu, komputer belum nampak di mana-mana. Dia cuma nampak di makmal. Maksudnya komputer tu sangat sedikit lah. So just imagine I grown up during that era. The second generation at workplace ialah generation Y. Generation Y ni yang lahir tahun 82 kalau tak silap ya. Dia membesar dalam keadaan komputer sangat mahal. Generasi kami, komputer tidak kelihatan di mana-mana kecuali di lab. Generasi millennials, mereka mampu beli komputer dan komputer dibawa ke rumah. Generasi Z, mereka mempunyai banyak pilihan komputer. Dan generasi Alpha yang sekarang ni, Alpha Intellect, mereka tidak memerlukan komputer untuk membuat kerja yang sepatutnya komputer buat. Mereka guna komputer untuk tengok Netflix, untuk buat benda-benda yang lain. Itu generasi. Saya suka menggunakan analogi komputer untuk membezakan generasi-generasi ini. So, knowing these differences of generation based on computer, imagine in workplace. I'm not good at technicals, but if you give me microphone, I can speak 1 hour until 3 hours, and that is my generation. Meaning to say, in any organization workplace, you don't expect the manager or the leader from my generation, X generation, and then we have this generation Z. Generation Alpha ni semuanya belum bekerja lah. Alpha ni yang latest, masih remaja. Tapi generation Z, I think dalam kelas saya ni ramai generation Z kan, tidak banyak bercakap, but you know better. Cumanya generasi Z ni dia suka mengikut arahan, do instruction a lot. We normally use indirect meaning punya instruction, tapi dia ada idea yang tersembunyi, begitu. So this is what camouflaging ni maksudnya, yang membentuk suasana workplace nowadays. So knowing that, it's not easy to make sure that everyone in the same rhythm. At workplace, it's very difficult to handle the human resource management matters. Number 1 is demographic. Number 2, gig economy. Sekarang ni sumber pendapatan sangat banyak. Because of that, sometimes those who are working in organization, they have the ethical dilemma. Ethical dilemmanya ialah mereka terpaksa membagikan masa kerana ada peluang kerja-kerja yang lain. Ini very simple example. And then globalization trends, extending new market abroad. Kalau dulu kita beli baju, kita beli barang, kita pergi kedai. Sekarang kita pergi handphone, TikTok dan juga Shopee dan sebagainya. Economic trend require specific talent management. Teknologi trend ni ialah the ChatGPT one, the Gemini one, the AI one, in which kalau dulu kita perlukan kaki tangan sokongan untuk menyiapkan kerja, but nowadays if you are a boss, you can also be your PA to yourself, for example. So these are things that happening in the world nowadays that regulates the new way of managing people in organization. So maksud saya di sini ni, when we talk about human resource management kan, starting from tahun-tahun yang dulu-dulu tu sampai sekarang ni, banyak perubahan-perubahan yang berlaku. These are some of the example of the current technology. Human resource, Human resource, satu dia punya peranan ialah dia mesti mewar-warkan kejayaan organisasi. Dia mesti promote, dia mesti buat announcement dan sebagainya. The trend nowadays ialah it's very simple to produce ucapan tahniah, for example, and it is very easy to publish it through social media. So this is part of the trend, in which the human resource management is getting easier to manage. Tetapi ada juga dia punya disadvantage. Kalau you all perasan, bila kita buat announcement, surely they will know backfire. Tapi kalau social media, we are facing the netizen. Netizen ni kadang-kadang nulis sesuatu yang tidak baik lah kan. So at the end, it affect the organization. Saya tidak pergi secara spesifik, tapi saya bagi satu general ideas. Actually, teknologi ni bagus, tapi somehow it can be it negatively affected the organization. At the end of the day, you will think that is not your work. You are depending on AI. Dari satu segi yang lain, AI ini memudahkan tugasan, memudahkan pekerjaan. Satu sudut yang lain, that is not who you are actually. You are not doing it by yourself. You are doing it with the full assistance of AI. For business benda ni bagus. Sebab dia melancarkan urusan, mempercepatkan tugasan, dan bila urusan cepat, tugasan pantas, profit earns tinggi. Strategic Human Resource Management. Last time when I study MBA, saya graduate tahun 2009. During our time memang tidak ada semua teknologi digital ni, sangat sukar untuk membuat segala tugasan yang diberikan. Pada ketika itu, we also study Strategic Human Resource Management. That time, 2009, Strategic Human Resource Management, dia lebih dikaitkan kepada understanding orang bilang lanjutan kepada Human Resource Management. Bila kita sebut Strategic Human Resource Management, that time, nowadays, when we talk about Strategic Human Resource Management, it's about how well you are using the technology, how good you are in attending matters. Strategic Human Resource Management concerns the competencies. Sebab itu dalam mana-mana organisasi kan, it is compulsory to have a training development. Training. Why you should have training given to your employees? Because you need them to be at par with the competencies needed for the current challenges. Competencies. Sebab itu bila kita mengukur competencies kan, dia panggil satu KSA plus C. Kalau you attend interview, this is the tips kongsi sikit. If you attend interview, don't bring KSA sahaja. What is KSA? Knowledge, skill, attitude. Kalau kamu hadir interview, jangan berharap 3. Kamu kena harap satu lagi, iaitu C, competencies. So when you attending interview, you need to have knowledge, you have to need skills, attitude, and competencies. Similar with, if you are in organization and you are eyeing for higher promotion in your department or organization, you must keep on developing, sharpening your C, competencies. This C, competencies, MBA is competencies. MBA is competencies. Undergrad degree is knowledge, but MBA is competencies. That's why in MBA the learning is different. The way I handle tonight is more on the sharing of what actually happened at workplace, and I actually expect you all to give some feedback to me after this. That is how we sharpen our MBA to fit the competency itu. Kalau you all just datang pergi kelas, dengar saya sharing without giving feedback, you will not learn anything. That's why kalau face to face, saya akan buat activities macam yang last week tu, because I want to sharpen your competencies in learning human resource management.